Yeah, I think I'm gonna pick David Beckham.
No!
Damn, I was gonna try to say that too.
Oh, why did I wait so long to take him? Good choice. Welcome back to another episode of the WeitzyPod. We are recording on September 14th on Sunday, and I'm very excited for two reasons. Number one is we're doing something we haven't done on the podcast before. We're talking some football. And no, I don't mean American football. I mean football, football, soccer. And the second reason I'm excited is we have two new guests of the podcast today joining us for the first time, Aidan and Evan. These boys are brothers. They are people I've known for more than half of my life. They are two of the biggest soccer fans that I know, and Manchester United fans, which is why I wanted to speak with them. And their knowledge of the game runs deep. So I'm very excited that they're here. Thank you, boys, for joining and welcome.
Of course,
Glad to be
thanks,
here.
Alex. We also got birthday episode for young Evan here.
Yes, sir.
Evan
What are
reached
you
out
turning,
and
like
said,
18, 19?
he,
Yeah.
he reached out to me and said, "There's nothing that I want more for my birthday than to be on your podcast." So that's why he's here. No, happy birthday.
Yeah. I've been looking forward to it all year. Getting older every year.
Yep.
Okay,
Looking
well,
forward to being on the pod, and hopefully we can, with two of us here, we can maybe get more views than the Jeffrey Banks episode.
okay, we're gonna be monitoring that. We need you guys' help. All right, so yeah, we're talking about soccer, and this is a great time to do it because the 2025-26 season is just underway. All the major leagues have just started. There's been a few games played so far, and we're talking about the Manchester Derby, which happened this morning. And I was really excited because I haven't watched soccer in what feels like forever. And I know that, early in the season, um, hopes are still high for all the teams. It's a clean slate, and I was really excited for a good game. And unfortunately, we didn't really get that. But just to set the stage a bit more, the Manchester United was what were they? They were like middle of the table. I think they were 1-1 going into this game, and Man City was 1-2, even further down. So both of these teams have not yet gotten their rhythm together. Um, Summary of the game: it was 3-0 Man City. They were playing in Manchester City or in the Etihad. And it was, I don't know if this is typical of a derby, but it was pretty sloppy in the beginning. It felt like a lot of passes weren't connecting. There wasn't much rhythm. And then Doku has one sick bit of skill and creates a chance. And Phil Foden gets a header, and City goes up 1-0. And then early in the second half, Aiden, you texted me. This was a classic Erling Haaland goal, a textbook Haaland goal, where he just gets the ball and muscles past somebody after a couple passes and puts it in the back of the net. And then to seal things up 3-0, City has a crazy counterattack, which we'll talk more about later. But yeah, not a lot of dangerous play from Manchester United, and I was expecting a little bit more from them. But what did you guys think going into this game? What did you think about the game? I'll open the floor up to you.
Yeah, I'll let Evan go for his take first.
Yeah, I mean it was definitely I would agree that it was sloppy. I don't think that either team was playing that well. Like United definitely wasn't playing well, and at the caliber that City have been playing over the last few years, like it probably should have been 3-0 at halftime. You know what I mean? Um, but I mean, yeah, United they weren't dangerous at all going forward. City weren't too dangerous going forward, but obviously they had their chances that they put away. So yeah, it was kind of underwhelming. I actually remember this morning thinking like, oh, this is the match that we're talking about. Like they're like even the Burnley United match that was a few weeks ago would have been a better one. Like it just seemed like neither team really like went for it, you know?
Yeah, I think the goals were decisive by City. I think United were still sort of you could imagine that they were in the game at 2-0, but I don't even know if they should have put a shot on target. Like
Yeah.
Embuemo had a few chances that looked like that he was like a little desperate, and then even later in the game, like Ugarte just looked really frustrated and ended up taking a shot, and no one even hit the target. I don't think Donnarumma was really like had a tough day at all, which in a derby you'd expect the keeper to at least be, have to be on his toes. Speaking of Donnarumma, it's like he was available in summer, and it's like United should have pushed the boat out to get a guy like that. He's only 26. I think he's had over 500 career appearances so far. Um, he was available from PSG, and he was really kind of could have made the difference. I mean, Altai in goal is pretty good, and it's uh, I don't know, the squad just seemed a little bit weak. I think all the response on the United kind of social media front right now is really blaming Amarim and this formation that he likes to work inside of, and it's tough to play to the strengths of these players, which is really more fit to the counterattack, but then they've got five at the back, so really tough game for United today. I don't think the quality was there. I think they were really outnumbered in the midfield, and it really City just punished them. I mean, on a few occasions, you got the first goal. Alex put it well, great bit of skill from Doku on the edge of the box, but then Foden is in the middle of four different players, and
Five of
nobody puts a
them.
hand on him or anything. And Foden is, not really a threat in the
Was
air,
it
but he's
5-1?
tricky. He gets open. Yeah, exactly.
Dude,
Um,
I think even that chance just happened because Doku gets there, but then he tries to cross it and it gets blocked at first, which it maybe like makes the defense like stop for a second, but then it goes right back to him and he just puts it in the same place and everyone's standing and Phil just runs in and gets it. And I've stopped the video. It's five United players.
five players.
Blocked.
Yeah, yeah. Which is supposed to be their advantage, supposed to have numbers in defense, but the quality is just not there. I mean, you could blame a system all the way up and down the day, but you have to execute on the pitch. And last, I don't even know, Evan, you can correct me here, but like maybe the last 6 years with United, they've chopped and changed loads of managers, but the players
Yeah.
just don't put good performances out on the pitch. Like,
Yeah. In the last 10
so
years, yeah, United have been good for probably 3 years. And there's probably been about 10 managers in that time. So it's like, is it the manager or is it just kind of you need to get out there and get after it. I don't think Ruben Amorim was saying, all right, listen, when Phil Foden gets the ball in the box, I want you to give him an open header. Like, no, like he was saying, like, get on the man and stuff. So yeah, I don't know how much you can blame a 3-0 on the manager.
yeah, and then the 2-0, the goal that Holland kind of got that extra yard of space and just kind of like great finish for him. I mean, that's like what he's trying to do is he's trying to get the ball onto his left side. But Lenny Yaro, who I love, probably my favorite player in the team, he's on the wrong side of Doku, right? Doku's receiving the ball to the inside and turning towards goal, and Lenny Yaro's on his right shoulder. It's like
Mhm.
that's stuff you learn in like youth play. So really tough watch. I think Evan put it well. It would have been nice to do this either as a pre-match
Yeah.
pre-match kind of like pod or after the Burnley game would have been nice. But I mean, not great form. You got the first game of the season, 1-0 loss at home to Arsenal. I think everyone was feeling pretty optimistic there.
Yeah.
You draw away at Fulham. Like, come on. It's tough to win away in the Premier League, so you take a point away from that. Grimsby, you lose on penalties, and then 3-2 win, you barely scrape out a win with a 95th minute penalty for Bruno, and win 2 weeks ago before the break. But um, Chelsea next week at home, but do they have the kind of like killer instinct to put Chelsea away? I don't know. Games after that, Brentford away, Sunderland at home, and then the big one, right? Like you got Liverpool away
How
in about a
many
month. So
how many goals have they scored this season?
in the
Two?
Premier League,
One?
four. They've scored four
Okay, all right.
because they lost 1-0. They drew 1-1 at Fulham. Grimsby was a cup tie. So in the league, they've scored four, and three of them were against Burnley, where they conceded two, and
Mhm.
none today. Didn't even have a sniff at the goal today.
They've conceded in every single match they've played this season. And they play with three center backs and they're conceding every single match.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
like five at the back. I mean, Evan, what'd you think of Sesko today? Benjamin Sesko.
I don't think that Sheshko's been like he's okay, so he's 6'4". Zlatan Ibrahimovic is 6'4". You take notice when Zlatan Ibrahimovic is on the pitch. I don't take notice when Sheshko's on the pitch. Like it's just, and I understand that he's 22 and he might still have to prove himself. But listen, he's like $100 million signing. I would think that like I would think that you would take notice that he would be making an impact. Put the ball in the box, get it to him. But I mean, even there would be times where he'd have the ball on the halfway line and like his touches wouldn't be that great or whatever. And so, um, Yeah, it was just I mean I didn't know that much about him coming into United, but um I've been pretty underwhelmed. I've been very happy with most of our signings that we've had. Like Mbeumo's been very good, Mateus Cunha has been really good, but I mean yeah, Šeško just I'm hoping that he finds his groove and that he starts putting him away.
I'm glad that you guys brought up Sesko because I got really excited a few weeks ago. Like Evan or Aiden shared a reel on Instagram of Sesko like finishing like he was like it was a video game. The ball just shooting off of his foot like a rocket, and I was like, oh, like this guy could develop into a sick like striker and be at Man U for a while. And then Aiden texted me this morning like, oh, Sesko's in the starting lineup. I was like, hell yes, like I want to see this guy. And he actually had a chance that gave me some optimism in the beginning where it was kind of a broken play, but it was the ball was at his feet. And he just decided to turn around and shoot, even though he didn't have much of like, it felt like he was kind of off balance and didn't have a good run up. But he still managed to strike it with his left foot into a place on target with some pace that Donnarumma had to make a save. And I was like, oh, like he just created that out of nothing. Like, let's see what happens the rest of the game. And I don't remember one other thing except for
Yeah.
maybe the time where he ran down the right side of the box and like tried to push it past Donnarumma and then went out for a or maybe it was offsides, but he was quiet after that one and I was a bit surprised.
Yeah, I mean that whole front three, like where you have that two number 10s and then the number nine and Sesko, like that three were really anonymous for like probably the middle hour of the match. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think Ahmad got on the ball really that often until the end of the game when he slotted in at right wing back. And I don't even want to get started on the substitutions. I don't get the one for one center back swap when you're chasing the game. You bring off Mazraoui, who was misplacing a few passes, but he was threatening. I think Dorgu, not very good today. Bruno,
Mhm.
not very good today. I think Ugarte was breaking up play nicely, but he wins the ball back and there's five blue shirts around him. So I think Cunha, Evan brought up Cunha. I think they missed him. He's probably their best attacker if he was fit.
Mhm.
They miss him in kind of that number 10 spot, but there's some of the choices I just don't understand. I'm scratching my head. Like you would want Bruno in that number 10 spot. And I don't know if Ahmad trains really well or what, but like, why is Bruno playing the pivot when he can't defend? I think in my match notes, I have like two or three times like Bruno can't press the ball, and it's like his defending is poor. Like, why is he playing in that number 6 spot? Like, he's a true number 10. He should be playing up front.
And I'll point out there was two free kicks within the first 34 minutes where I thought, okay, like Bruno's going to take this and he's going to swing it into the box and something good is going to happen. And both kicks were just went to the either to the front post or just swung in like right to Donnarumma, which I guess you would say is a good free kick because someone should run onto that. But I thought they didn't even look dangerous on those, and I was like with Bruno on the ball,
Mhm.
that's a chance where they can make something happen. Yeah, I didn't realize he was playing out of position today,
I
but
Yeah,
mean,
well, I mean, yeah,
in my
it's
opinion, out of
difficult, yeah.
position. Yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, the thing that I took away from it was like there were times, and I've said this a lot playing City over the last few years, is like it just seems like there's more City players on the pitch than the other team. You know what I mean? Like it always just seems like there's just more City players where they need to be, and you can talk about positioning and work rate and things like that. But in the midfield, it was like there were times when Ugarte had the ball by himself in United's half, and there was six City players around him, and it's like how are you playing with like two center mids and two tens, and we're being outnumbered in the midfield? Like that to
Yeah.
me, that doesn't make any sense. So anyway,
Yeah, they're playing with this five at the back, and it almost like that really works well when you have possession of the ball because then you can stretch the field really wide and like move your way up and you have all the numbers. But when you're on the back foot all the time, like United are, because they can't pass to another red shirt, you're basically losing a man in the press, right?
yeah.
So if Cisco gets beat through the lines and you have five guys behind the ball and then two in the middle, there's basically like an extra player that City is really good at passing triangles just around, 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 and then they split the lines and then they break, right? And they have a lethal striker in Holland that if he gets a half yard of space, it's pretty much game over. He's
Mhm.
going to finish with power, you know.
Yeah.
So Aiden texted in the group today. Memo needs to hit the driving range. And I'm curious, bro, what play made you say that? Because I have three in my head. Actually, yeah, which play made you text that?
I think it was either like a half volley or it was like a left-footed chance he had in between like the 18-yard box and the six, where he just didn't even come close to hitting the target. On the like game broadcast, it looked like he just went over, and then they showed the replay, and he went
Yeah.
over and wide, and it was
Yeah.
just like, come on, man, like you got to at least
It
like
was
zip
him.
something on target. Yeah,
It was just him and Donnarumma, and the ball looked
yeah.
like it was bouncing favorably. And it's like you have to at least hit the target there. And then I will give him credit that volley that he had off the cross that looked like it was curling right into the far post was a sick strike, and Donnarumma had to make a good save there. But then there was a third play where he is in the 6 yard box and the ball comes across and he just doesn't hit it right with his feet and it goes past the post, but he's right in
Oh
the
yeah.
goal.
Yeah, that was when like Ahmad played him in and it literally like just hit off his shin and went out and it was a little bit like, all right, come on, man. Like we gotta be doing
Yeah.
better than that, you know?
And
The whole
Rev,
sub situation is weird too. I mean, even looking at the starting 11, the only attacking substitution they have is Xerxes. So it's like, what's your intention to win the game?
Casemiro's
If
winning
you if
two
you go
asses.
down, Casemiro comes on really, really late. He actually looked pretty good, and he's probably a better fit for that number six kind of pivot role.
He's great for a
Um,
45-year-old too.
so he just rolled out of bed with his haircut
Yeah.
too. Um, Yeah, I don't know. I think Hoyland would have played really well today, which is like you're scratching your head, like, why do you give up a good young talent that you could play paid good money for? I mean, maybe he wanted out, didn't seem like he was too excited to start the season with United, but
Yeah.
you put him out on loan to Napoli, pretty much an obligation to buy on that deal. So he's essentially a Napoli player at this point, whether who's paying his wages this season might be United, but he would have probably played great today, sneaking around, getting a little bit elusive. Like maybe a little bit of support to Sheshko. Like Hoyland could have slotted into one of those kind of attacking forward roles. So tricky game for United. I don't think they were really up for the task. I don't think the wing backs were really in the game much, and it didn't really threaten. At one point in 2-0, I thought they might get a goal back. I was pretty optimistic, but then that third goal comes in. You could just see all the emotion
Mm.
comes out of the players, and even the manager. He just looked like he was defeated at that point.
Mbuemo's volley that you were talking about, I think that was at 2-0. So,
Would have
you know what I mean?
swung the
He
game.
does a little bit better there.
Yeah,
That's 2-1, momentum shift, things can change. So,
Dude, that third Holland goal was crazy because watching the replay, he is like 10 yards ahead of his own 18, like helping on defense. I was surprised how far back he dropped today. But then they start their counterattack. City, no, no. I think Man U's trying to pass the ball around and then they like give it
they
up.
kind of fumbled. They misplaced a pass and just
Yeah,
lost the
City gets
ball.
it, and they're so deep in the their half that Holland is already sprinting. He's already past the last line of defense, but he's still in his own half. So they're just like put it in the other side
Yeah,
and let the fucking Norwegian samurai run onto that one, and he's not gonna miss that shit. Uh,
yeah.
he
I mean,
covered the.
clinical finish too. He curled it right into the far post. It literally hit the post and went in. Like, so, I mean, what are you going to do about that?
It
Like,
was like Giannis Antetokounmpo covering the second half from halfway, like dribbling twice and getting to the rim. He just took that ball and guided it right in. It was sweet.
As soon as he starts opening up his body to shoot, like
it's
you're
on.
pretty confident it's going to go in. Like
Yeah.
he's going to slot it
Yeah.
into a corner, like Evan said. Yeah, just mad.
There was one where it just made me laugh because he like someone crossed it in and Holland he was coming in and he just like leaped up and I don't know what part of the bo of his body he hit it with, but it just bounced perfectly off his body and I think either into the keeper or went wide. But he's able to hit the ball first time so cleanly and it really looks like a video game.
I think he just like jumped forward and hit it with his like the outside of his left foot, and it
Yeah.
just like
Just so fucking hard.
completely ricocheted. Yeah.
Yeah. And not to exhaust all of the sports analogies, but when he when they play him into space and it's him versus one other defender, it's like people trying to tackle Derrick Henry in the open field. Like
It's
he's
barbecue chicken.
fucking yeah, like you can see him in the slow replay, like brushing people off, and he's just so big and so strong. Like, how are you gonna get? And he's long too. Like, how are you supposed to get the ball? But he was fun to watch today. I came into this game wondering what he was gonna look like because I hadn't heard from him much, or like seen a lot of his highlights recently. So yeah, 2 goals for him.
Yeah, and this is not a great City team. Like if you're going to capitalize on when is the right time to beat City, like today, they didn't really look
Hmm.
that great that they were like switched on and United was not.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, they lost two in a row before today. I think you maybe said they
Uh,
won their first match and
yeah.
lost the other two. Like
Yeah.
so pretty poor. I think Liverpool is maybe the only team that's won every match so far. They got really, really lucky today. Um, 95th minute penalty to win, but you need luck to win matches sometimes in the Prem.
Yeah, so yeah, Liverpool they are the only team with full wins. I think Chelsea and there might be one other team that's still undefeated. But that those come from draws. But yeah, Liverpool has 4 wins out of 4.
Nice. All right, I want to talk about this season and this team a bit more in its current state, but I want to jump back to when you guys became Manchester United fans, and because I don't think I've ever asked you about this. How did you guys become fans? Was it a like were you did you become fans together? Did you both have your own path to becoming fans of this team? Tell me about the genesis of this fandom.
I'll let Aiden answer that because my answer is basically like, oh, my older brother liked Manchester United, so
Yeah, I mean, mine's sort of in the same theme. I think I started really following soccer period like around the 2006 World Cup. I was in like fifth grade at the time, like finishing fifth grade. So I was just like, I got this big sticker book, like a Panini sticker book, and it had all of the like looking back, like legendary players, right? Like Francesco Totti, Zidane, Van Nistelrooy, all those guys were playing in that World Cup. So I had this big sticker book and basically like really, really started following the game after that World Cup. And then I remember Steven Gerrard was one of my favorite players, and then Wayne Rooney. Everybody was buzzing about Wayne Rooney, but really the whole Man United thing started coming about. My our dad is a United fan, like has been a United fan as long as he can remember, and he was basically like taking tons of stick when he was a kid because Liverpool were winning tons of English first division titles when he was a kid, so he would be taking all kinds of slack for that. And then so really it was like I guess it's kind of like a family thing. It is nice, like on these Premier League mornings, all of us could all kind of like root for United, but definitely after that 2006 World Cup season, you have that kind of like resurgence of the Ronaldo Rooney kind of Tevez like prong attack. So that was super, super fun to watch. And then really just supporting United since. Big fan of this Sir Alex Ferguson's kind of like philosophy on hard work. And I think Evan kind of similar suit, right? Like it was just kind of our whole family set up, some of our really close family friends and cousins, United supporters also. Um,
Yeah.
and then I think Evan even, you could correct me here, but Evan really loved like the Irish national team. And he was kind of like almost playing like he'd like a bunch of players. I remember he had a Newcastle shirt going up, but really he's a United fan through thick and thin. Like, yeah.
yeah, yeah, I remember because Damien
Damien
Duff,
Duff.
yeah,
Yeah,
Damien Duff,
Damien.
and he was a blonde Irish player that played for Newcastle, and so yeah, I had a Newcastle jersey, but yeah, I mean it was like basically just growing up and getting there was like these match or like shoot magazines that people used to bring from Ireland that I used to read and stuff, and that was cool. But then I remember playing FIFA, I think it was FIFA '09 or FIFA '08 on my PSP, playing with that United lineup with like Rooney, Tevez, Berbatov, like and just you'd be whacking in goals for fun. And like just I just remember like staying up late under the covers, playing the PSP, hearing our parents going like, go to bed, like, and just and that was really like where the love really started for me. And then it was reinvigorated when I was in college because um it was a space of comfort for me when I was like away from home that it was just like we would all be, as Aidan said, we'd all be watching the United game at the same time, or like I would meet people that would be fellow United fans and I'd hang out with them. And like some of my favorite memories in college were like waking up at 4 in the morning and watching it in the common room with all the other United fans on the floor or whatever it was.
Cool.
So yeah, just like great memories like that. I remember one day we skipped class and we went to this Irish pub and we watched United beat Arsenal 3-1 in the FA Cup in January. And that was just like that's just one of my favorite memories from college. So yeah,
Yeah.
just through my whole life, it's just been this constant and there's ups and downs and more downs than ups recently. But again, it's just it's just a really, really good part of my life.
That's a lot. You gave me a lot of nostalgic feelings right there. Aiden talking about the sticker book and then Evan the magazines. Whenever I would travel to like Europe or Germany or any airport, I would always grab one of the like soccer magazines to read in the plane, and that was some of the most fun I had on the trip was like gathering these magazines and looking through the pictures and seeing the jerseys and these sick ass players. Yeah, that's really cool. Dude, skipping class to go see a game that ends like that is awesome.
Yeah, it was. I remember it was like because it was in the FA Cup, so the game was at 11 or 12 o'clock or whatever Pacific time, and so it was me, my friend Kieran, and then these two Irish guys that we ran into, and we were the only four people in the entire place, but it just felt like we were in this full pub and we were all chanting and everything like that, and it just yeah, people walking by probably thought that we were idiots, but it was so fun and like
I know.
I think about that every now and then.
Yeah. Who are your guys' favorite players from the team and during your lifetime so far? I mean, you rattled off a bunch of big names, but if you had to choose one or two, who would you say were your favorite?
It's got to be probably Ronaldo. I mean, like the Ronaldo at United was super super great. I think I always like when I was playing, I wanted to play like that. I think Rooney probably up there too. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I think I might might edge Rooney out above Ronaldo for what he did for the club. He played a little bit longer and some just like sensational goals. Like the YouTube compilations of the stripes that he would have were just like awesome. Yeah.
And being in an English
The
as well is sick.
Yeah, the 2 or 3 weeks after Ronaldo re-signed for United was probably the happiest I've seen Aiden in like my whole life. Like just like we both felt like little kids again. You know what I mean? Because I mean for
Yeah.
me, like Ronaldo at his peak at United, I was 8, he was 12, right? So like we were back in that. So I mean, yeah, obviously like Wayne Rooney, Ronaldo would be up there for me, but like I guess my like the streets won't forget player would probably be like Ander Herrera. I thought he was a great servant for the club. He always played for the badge on his chest. And then Scott McTominay as well. I mean, I was so obviously I'm so happy for how successful he's been at Napoli, but like man, when he left, it was like that was a big hit. I thought he was a great player for United.
He would have been a great fit today. He
Yes,
would have
because
been
he was someone that
amazing in that
like
number 10. Yeah.
yeah, he would come in, it'd be the 90th minute against Brentford, we'd be down 1-0 and then he'd literally be subbed in stoppage time and score 2 goals and we'd win the game. You know what I mean? Like he was just an impact
Yeah.
player. He fought every single minute that he was on the pitch and like yeah, Scott McTominay would definitely be he would definitely be yeah, up there for me in terms of like all time greats. And then also Marcus Rashford as well. I understand that the end that he's had at United hasn't been the greatest, but the things that he's done for the club, being from Manchester and also just like what he stands for as well, he would make it on my top five for sure.
Think Bastian Schweinsteiger needs to be mentioned. Just kidding. I asked you that for a reason. I told you guys I had a surprise question for you. I was watching the game today and I'm looking at City and I'm seeing, oh, they have Haaland, they have Phil Foden, they have Rodri, friggin' Donnarumma's on the team now. This guy Doku looks sick. Like I didn't know him before that. And I'm thinking about the United team and I'm like, who are their guys? Like who are their attractions? Like why? I guess it's a two-part question. Number one is when if you were to make like a movie poster of this team promoting them around the city, who is on the poster? And two is like why aren't there big names that are playing for Man United right now, like when we were kids?
Well, I'd say that
Well,
at a certain
Bruno.
point, yeah, I mean Bruno Fernandes would be one of them, but I would say at a certain point, I mean you have like Casemiro, Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho, like At a certain point, they were big names, and then they went to United, and then now they're, but I mean, Casemiro is like one of the best center mids, like one of the best Brazilian center mids. He won so many Champions Leagues at Real Madrid. Like Jadon Sancho, there was arguments of like, oh, is Mbappe going to be the best player in the world, or Jadon Sancho going to be the best player in the world? And then he signs for United, and then his career goes down the drain. And so I think that that's why there aren't many big names at United, because it seems as though these big names go to United, and then suddenly they're not big names anymore. So that could just be poor run of form. But I mean, right now, yeah, Bruno Fernandes would definitely be on the movie poster. I would say,
I would say Embuemo. Like you'd probably put him on there. I think people are pretty pleased with the fact that they've signed him. Um, I think Lenny Yaro, generational talent. I really like De Ligt too. I mean, De Ligt has played for Bayern, Juventus. Like that's pretty good caliber of club that he comes from.
Yeah.
Uh, that might be it, man. I mean, they really did a lot of business getting people out this summer, but even the names that they got rid of were not really like blockbuster signings. You could probably put Rashford on there last season as one of their biggest names, but they're not competing in Europe. They don't have the money to pay big, huge wages. They're definitely swinging above their belt in terms of the finances. They're like living off of the name reputation. I think, yeah, it's hard to attract players when you're not playing in the Champions League or the Europa League, right? Like guys want to play in Champions League matches. You're not going to get Alexander Isak or Mbappe or any of these players when you're not playing in the Champions League or in Europe, period.
Okay,
yeah,
so yeah, because I was thinking like, don't these players want to go? Because like you said, living off reputation, it's just one of the coolest and most historic clubs in the world. You would think players would want to go, but you make a great point of not competing at the highest level, and maybe they have an uphill battle to get back to top four in the Premier League. Um, yeah, I'm wondering, as fans, as you guys look out at at the season. What are like the best case scenarios? Like when the season's over, best case, like where do you think Man U could be? What does success look like?
I think you always want to say top four. I think the standard with United is top four and a trophy. I think that should be the bare minimum. Realistically, if they finish in the top half, in the top 10, I mean, you'd be pleased with that. And the worst case, they could go down. Like they could lose so
hmm
many matches that they go
Ooh.
down. Like, so you don't really want to go there, but I think the standard at the club should be top four and a trophy. They're out of the I was about to say the Carling Cup, but the League Cup, they're out of that already. So your chances go down significantly there. They're not in any European competition. FA Cup could be favorable for them, but you don't see them winning the league this year, right?
yeah. So I will say that the day before the Premier League started, I texted a few of my friends and I said, Manchester United winning the league this year. Remember this text? And then they lost, and then I got clowned on. I was like, no, man, keep the faith, keep the faith. And now we're 4 matches in, and I will say this match was the match that really like took the wind out of my sails, because coming off of the Grimsby loss in the Carabao Cup, which oh my goodness, but anyway, coming off the Grimsby loss, and then even Burnley, like we celebrated the Burnley win, like we just won the Champions League, and it was recently promoted Burnley, and it was 3-2 off a penalty. Like, you know what I mean? It really shouldn't have been that big of a deal for us, but obviously it was, and I think that shows where the standards are at the club at the minute. But losing 3-0 to a not very good City side, I understand we have injuries, but they also had injuries. So yeah, I think obviously as a United fan, you want to say like, oh, top four Champions League next season. That's the goal. That's the goal. But realistically, yeah, top half would be I'd be like pleased with top half, and then maybe next season um I can think about Champions League, and because it's just shown that they're just clearly not at the level of the Liverpool, the Arsenal, Chelsea, even Newcastle have been pretty good lately. So
Yeah.
yeah, they're just not there.
Okay, we have 2 minutes. Ruben Felipe Marquez Amorim. Who is this guy and what is his style? What do I need to know as someone who has never heard of this coach, and he's coaching at Man U? What do you guys feel? How do you feel about him?
So I
I
will
mean,
say that
go
Go
ahead.
on. Okay. So I will say that Ruben Amorim, he joined Sporting when they were struggling, and they were in a bit of a financial crisis. And the number one thing that he did was he overturned like he overturned almost the entire roster so that they could keep all their players on a certain wage. And he's started to do that at United. If you look at the top 10 highest paid players at United over the last like 2 years, a lot of those players are either on their way out or their contracts are expiring soon. So I would say that's going to be his goal is get it more to players that are willing to fight for the badge than players that are just looking for their next paycheck. And it shows in all of their more recent signings. A lot of them are on under 100,000 a week, versus like Casemiro who's on 300,000, Rashford who's on 300,000, Jadon Sancho who's on like 280,000, things like that.
Casemiro is one of the highest paid players in the league. Did
Yes.
you believe that? Yeah, that's crazy. And
Signed as a
he
30
doesn't
year
even
old on a
play
5 year
he does.
contract.
Yeah, he doesn't even play every week.
Yeah.
I like that mindset though. That sounds good.
Yeah, and then his whole play style is kind of you got like three center backs, the two wing backs, two number sixes, two number tens, and the striker. So a lot of the heat is coming on him right now for like not really like adjusting outside of that formation because typically you got like two, three tricks in your bag if you're playing different opponents, and he's taking a lot of criticism for just like never adjusting off of that setup. Um, but I mean, even in his post match, he said like if you need to play in a different formation, you need to find a different man. So he's like pretty like firm on how he's going to play matches and line up the team.
Gotcha.
I mean, I'll say he did that exact thing at Sporting, and then when he left Sporting, they were undefeated in the Portuguese league and also undefeated in the Champions League. I understand it's different, but his method has
You
worked in the
need
past.
you need very like physically athletic and like dominating players to play
Mhm.
in the way that he does because they need to cover so much space and like really be physically fit where like you're not getting that out of Mason Mount. You're not
No.
getting that out of even Ugarte on a regular basis. Bruno, you're not getting that in the midfield. So it's
Or
really,
the
really tough. I think he had like really great physical specimens at Sporting even Gyökeres,
So,
right? I have something if you guys are interested in, and it may take Alex getting into his bag a little bit here. Well, my suggestion is you could do a five-a-side. We'll do a Man United team this go around, but we do like a snake draft order. So like let's
ooh,
say Evan, it's his birthday, he can pick if he wants to go first, second, or third. So basically if let's say in this hypothetical Evan is the number one, he picks first, Alex picks next, I pick third, and then I would get to pick fourth. Alex comes back around and then Evan. So you do a five-a-side. Alex, I'll give you license to use this across other sports too, because I think the five-a-side works well. You could use it for basketball, starting five, even like football. You get all the like skill positions in there.
So
Um,
is this across like the team all time?
I think
yeah.
we go all
And what is
timers.
the goal? How do we measure who wins? Or is this like just a thought exercise?
So, well, it's just a thought exercise for you two because I'm gonna win. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I mean, I'm
Okay.
gonna go. I mean, it's just, at a certain point, it's gonna become who's available. But maybe does this podcast have an Instagram yet? We could poll the listeners too. Vote for an A, B, or
Yeah,
C.
yeah, yeah.
Who's got the best team?
Okay, we're gonna do it this way. Let us know in the comments whose team you think won. Evan will be A, I'll be B, and Aiden can be C. And we'll see if Evan's comment will be right or not.
Okay. So, in the first pick of the first ever Weitzel podcast draft, I'm gonna pick Wayne Rooney.
Bastard.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going next. Give me Ronaldo.
Okay. Got CR7.
What are we doing?
Okay. I'm gonna take Paul Scholes.
Okay.
Nice. You're going
So
again.
then I come back around. Hmm, Rio Ferdinand.
Okay.
Give me Robin Van Persie.
Okay, I am gonna take um because I feel like I have to support my Irish brethren. I'm gonna say Roy Keane.
Nice pick.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna pick Nemanja Vidic at center back.
Vidic on the way back. Great pickup.
So you get to go twice?
Yeah, it's a snake
Because he
draft.
comes back around. He was third in round two, and then he comes back in first. It's a snake.
Got it. David De Gea. No, De Gea is on my team.
Okay.
Okay.
So he's got his keeper locked up. I'm going to take.
There's some good ones left.
Got a midfielder and a defender. I'm going to take Ryan Giggs. And then on the way back, I'll pull Van der Sar.
Hmm. Okay, I kind of need someone in the middle, but I might just go name recognition. Um, Eric Cantona is on my team.
Ooh, there you go.
We're going all offense.
Yeah, you have like
You
a
have you have like
front you
three
have like a
forwards.
front three for the
That's how much I
ages,
believe in De Gea.
and then a goalkeeper. Um. Oh man. Okay. So let's see. Center mid. Okay. I'll pick Schmeichel, Peter Schmeichel for goalkeeper. I think that's kind of an
Okay.
obvious one.
Don't
And then
take, don't take.
center mid. I really want to take Ender Herrera, but I also want to like win this, and I know I'm not going to get the votes if I don't have if I have someone else in there. So
Don't
I
do it.
think what I might do, yeah, I think I'm gonna pick David Beckham.
No!
Damn, I was going to try to save that too.
Oh, why did I wait so long to take him? Good choice. Okay.
I got
Then,
one more pick for Alex.
um, has anyone picked Rio Ferdinand?
I
Aidan,
have him.
Okay, then give me Nemanja Vidic.
I have him.
Evan has him. Hey, Lenny Yoro, generational talent.
Oh gosh, no way.
Okay.
Where is he? How about Brian Robson?
Oh, deep pull.
Ryan Robson, nice pull. Met him at Stanford once. All right, I got
Whip it
Scholes,
out
Ferdinand, Giggs, Van der Sar. I need a striker. Do I go with Carlos Tevez and his bulldog-like approach?
every time.
Perhaps.
I'm gonna go George Best,
Nice.
the original number seven. All right, you want me to
Number
rattle
five.
off the teams?
Yeah.
Okay. So Evan, let's go from the keeper all the way out. So he's got
Hmm.
Peter Schmeichel in goal, Vidic at the back. In the midfield, he's got Beckham and Roy Keane and Rooney as a striker. Alex has David De Gea in goal, Brian Robson playing defense, and then he's got lethal front three: Cantona, RVP, Robin van Persie, and Cristiano Ronaldo.
Come
And
on,
then
man.
I've got Edwin van der Sar in goal, Rio Ferdinand at the back, Paul Scholes and Giggs pulling the strings in the middle, and George Best up front.
It's well rounded.
Good lineups. Good lineups.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, listeners, let us know A, B, or C which team is the best there. That's fun. Aiden, you were talking before we got so rudely interrupted by Zoom. I'll send a strongly worded email to them. You're talking about the play style required or the players required to make the current Man United manager's play style work. And please continue your breakdown. I think you were saying you need to be physically strong and fast. What
I
was
think
it?
you need to be physically fit, like
Hmm.
almost like an N'Golo Kante, where you're just like running the entire match, especially in the number six in the middle. We were talking a lot earlier about how United were like really overwhelmed with numbers in the middle of the pitch. So if you can win the ball back quickly and then move it up the field, his whole formation works well when you're kind of on the front foot rather than when you're defending. So if you can break down the play and win the ball back quickly, that's when his Emerim style works best, and then you can creep the ball up the field. Um, I think they went after Aleba in
Yes.
the summer towards the end of the window, Brighton midfielder who was like kind of that industrious kind of center mid. Maybe they'll tap him in January. We'll see. But he's like a 100 million euro signing. I think they almost need like two 100 million pound midfielders, which is a tough pill to swallow when they've already spent 250 million this summer. I think the outgoings were good business getting rid of different players, but I think they've only really, I think they're still like at a net spend of like 150 million, right? Like even if these loan fees come through. Um, so we'll see. I mean, they definitely need some more depth in the squad. You could see it on the bench today. They didn't have much. They had two keepers on the bench and then a couple of academy players. And you're still just kind of scratching your head why Kobe Mainu doesn't fit in Amarim's plans.
Hmm.
I think he's definitely like got all the talent in the world, but I think Amarim has said more than once he needs more positional sense. But he came on today. I thought he performed pretty well. Um, so we'll see. I mean, I think the pitchforks are out from the fans for Amarim, so we'll see what the survival likelihood is. It seems like we're churning through managers just about every December, but the Liverpool match in a couple of weeks could be really, really embarrassing.
Well, I mean, Kobe Mainu, homegrown lad, huge fan favorite. So it's like if your playing style does not fit Kobe Mainu, there's something wrong with your playing style. And that's how the United fans are going to feel about that because he is a sensational player. He's so good on the ball. He's very good with his vision and everything like that. And so yeah, again, it's like there's a personality clash there. It's but it seems like he has a lot of personality clashes with people. But I mean, I've never met the guy, so I don't want to speak too poorly about him. But I just think that I think that the Kabi Menu and the Amad Diallo, those are two very good, very young talents that like if if you are putting Amad Diallo at right back to get him into this system, it's a little bit like really like I mean he is sensational on the ball. Kabi Menu is a sensational midfielder, and so if we're struggling to get these two players in, I think we need to be asking some bigger questions.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your confidence in the manager, Evan?
Um, I am gonna I know that this goes against what I was just saying, but I'm going to say an eight. And the reason why I'm saying an eight is because I think that at a certain point, we need to stop looking at the manager. Because again, as we said at the beginning of the call, how many managers has United been through? How many years has United not been very good? So at a certain point, is it due to the manager or is there something else going on, whether it's the ownership or maybe the players don't care enough or whatever it is? But I just think that at a certain point, you need to pick a manager and back him. And I'm hoping that this is the one.
Aidan, how do you feel?
I'm probably more on the six scale. I think where they finished last year is like absolutely horrendous. Like, and then he's lost, I think, half of his matches in the league. I don't know how long you can sustain that, so I'm probably more around a 6 out of 10 confidence.
Dude, is Patrick Dorgu, was he like the guy running down the left side of the field today for
Yeah, he was playing like a
a
left wing back.
defender?
Mhm.
He can't cross the ball.
Yeah, I was thinking, oh, this guy's fast, or like, but he doesn't seem super threatening. I just noticed that it's he's listed as a defender. Why is he
Yeah,
on
he's
the
probably
ball?
like a true fullback, you know.
I mean, come on, you gotta do it better than that.
Yeah,
All right, um, guys, this has been awesome, really fun. Love the all the different directions that we went. We're gonna have to do a part two and maybe three or four, as the season goes on. Thank you so much for your time. Next week against Chelsea, what are the odds that there's a Man U win?
100%.
Yep, 100%. You go in every
100%.
single match thinking that you're going to win.
Yeah. Go
I mean,
Man
it's at home. It's at home. You might get a goal at home. They need to score. They need to put
U. Yeah.
the ball in the net against
Yeah.
one of these opponents. Like
And
they have to score.
and I know it sounds dumb, but they need to stop conceding. They've conceded in every single match no, but I mean they've conceded in every
Yeah,
single match this season. Like the Burnley game 3-2. If it's 3-0, that's a much more confident win, you know? So they need to stop conceding. Even like Arsenal, it was a controversial goal, but they didn't put away their chances on the end, and then Arsenal scored on their end, and so. But if they don't concede that controversial goal, then it's 0-0, and then it's a different story being told from the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll see what happens on Sunday. Guys, thanks for your time. Have a great rest of your Sunday evening. Evan, happy birthday, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you very much. Have a good one.
Yeah.